What sport is the focus of the movie Lords of Dogtown?
Well, I know this. I own the movie on DVD.
Okay.
I've never seen the movie, but I mean,
You just own
it's
it, though.
skateboarding.
It's skateboarding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I
Cool.
think it was a movie that my parents bought me on DVD when I was like 13.
Exact same
And
boat.
yeah, and I've never watched it. I should watch Lords of Dogtown. I own it on DVD. It's somewhere.
Maybe
in
we'll
storage.
do that sometime. And we'll
Yeah, not soon because it's absolutely in a storage unit somewhere.
yeah.
And I do not know where. It would take me like all day to find
Yeah.
the copy, and it would be much easier just to watch it on a
Yeah.
streaming service. But if we're gonna watch it, I'll watch my DVD copy because
Yeah.
because I own
How are my levels, by the way? Is my audio okay?
You sound good to me.
Okay, cool. Just double
Yeah,
check.
no,
I
you
was
sound
playing around
phenomenal.
with something.
Honestly,
It's so podcast of me to be like, can you check my levels?
Yeah.
Can you check how are my levels?
yeah. I mean, you sound great. Honestly,
Okay,
your
cool.
voice right now, if you narrated like a David Attenborough style nature documentary, I would watch it.
You'd watch it, yeah.
Yeah. Can you
really-
test that out real quick? Like,
I-
okay, I'm gonna give you a picture.
The cheetah
There's
ran.
a bunch of flamingos in a pond.
Okay.
And there is an alligator that's like creeping towards them. And scene.
This-
Or
let's
action.
just say
Scene is what you
these
say at the end.
Flamingos might have See, I'm not good at improv, but I can. If you gave me a script
Yeah.
here,
Okay, that's fair.
family
That's
of
fair.
flamingos are enjoying their basking in the afternoon sunlight. But let's just say someone might have showed up late to the party, and then the alligator.
An alligator attacks a
Yeah.
flamingo.
They might not be alone
Yeah.
here.
And you're like, ow, that's
Ow.
gotta hurt.
Yeah. Anyway, awful start.
It'll get better though because you're taking improv classes.
Yeah.
How are those going?
Oh, they're not going great because
Oh, you had COVID, so you couldn't.
Yeah, great segue. Yeah.
just
We haven't
remembered that.
actually addressed it on the podcast yet.
Yeah.
I haven't addressed it anywhere. So I'm gonna run through it quick, just really quick. But I got COVID, and the thing is, well, first of all, I'm fine now. Tested negative. Like I'm all good. But about 2 or 3 hours before I tested positive, I was hanging out with Jeff and Miles for the ambulance episode 2 weeks ago, and so I was like, they definitely have it, and thank God you're fine. You never tested positive.
Yeah, which was crazy. I tested like a few
It's
times.
insane. Yeah. What
Yeah.
sucks is that, of course, you're in Chicago, and we still had to record
Yeah,
remote.
the John Munson episode.
It's just
remote.
insane. But we still, we had a good time. We had a good time while we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything's fine now. COVID was bad, though, I will say. COVID is not fun. It is kind of painful. But thankfully,
But
all
luckily,
good.
you were vaccinated.
yeah, literally, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, the vaccine, the boost, like that really made it, I feel like, a lot better than it could have been. Because it was really only, I don't want to downplay how bad it is, but it was only one day for me that was like unbearable.
Yeah. And that's with being like triple vaxxed. So
Yeah.
just imagine if you weren't.
I know, yeah. And then after that, it's like I was downing Advil and drinking a lot of water and getting a lot of rest, and I felt good the next day. So
Yeah.
thank God.
That's good.
Yeah. But here we are, back at it.
Yeah, so that was how your week was.
That was how like my week was 3 weeks ago. It's been so long
Yeah.
since we've recorded an episode that's coming out the week of.
Yeah, and we
feel
still
like.
have one that we recorded like 3 weeks ago
Yep.
that's coming
We have
out in a week from now.
The advice episode is coming, just so everybody's know.
Yep.
We didn't forget about it.
We recorded it 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and it's coming.
So
Actually,
how
4 weeks ago almost.
was your week, Jeff? I should ask.
Yeah, my week was okay. I'm back in Florida. It's very warm.
Yeah.
I went to a Tampa Bay Lightning hockey game.
There we go.
The playoffs are almost starting,
Yeah.
and they're looking to three-peat as champions,
Wow.
making them
Good for them.
one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah. So
Man.
go Tampa Bay Lightning.
Go Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah. Oh, they
Official
also visited
sponsor
the
of the
White
pod.
House.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
That's really
that's cool
good
for them. They did that
Yeah.
last week or this week. Last week if you're listening to this after it comes out, but for me recording this week.
Nice. Congrats to the Tampa Bay Lightning on such a great year. I'm so proud of this team.
Yeah, they're your favorite hockey team, you would say.
It's true, yeah. Of all
Yeah.
my hockey knowledge, I love the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I mean,
the
you do have
most,
the Minnesota Wild,
which are,
well, they're actually great this year.
okay.
They have
Every
this
now and then,
guy named Kirill Kaprizov, who is incredible.
Okay. Every now and then I ask my dad, I'm like, how are they doing? And he's like, yeah. And he never really gives me an
Well,
answer.
if you ask him now, he's going to be like tremendous.
He's going to be happy. Yeah. Well, speaking of talented people, massive talent, today we're talking about the unbearable weight of massive talent. This episode is brought to you by Felix Gray Glasses. Guys, we want to protect your eyes. We want to make sure those eyes feel okay. And the best...
We're being bombarded by blue lights
We're
when we're looking
everywhere.
at screens. Your phone, blue light. Your computer monitor, blue light. Your TV,
your
blue
iPad,
light.
your Apple Watch,
your
if you're
blue
like
light
that.
bulb,
Yeah,
blue light.
It's coming at you from every angle, especially if you're a movie fan and are watching a lot of movies on your laptop or on your TV at home. It's like, you need to protect those eyes of yours. And listen, Felix Gray has the solution with their blue light glasses.
Yeah. And I have found benefits from wearing these, Carson Rundquist. Now,
Absolutely.
you actually already owned blue light glasses from the other guys.
I did. I'm not
Now,
gonna,
how do those compare to
I'm not
the
going to
Felix
name
Gray blue
names.
lights?
No, but as someone who has experimented with different blue light glasses over the years, it's not just one time. It's like a few different times. It's like, I've been trying to find blue light glasses that actually feel like they're making a difference, And those other blue light glasses, I was like, they're fine, they're good. But Felix Gray blue light glasses are the real deal. I mean, I go to bed feeling a lot better just in the eye area. I sleep a lot harder. It doesn't feel, I don't get like headaches while working anymore. It's like they really protect.
You sleep harder?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
What does that mean?
It's like another way of saying I sleep deeper. Like I get deep
Okay.
sleep.
See, I've heard that. I've never heard anyone say I sleep harder.
It's a hard sleep. It's a deep sleep. I've been sleeping. I'll just say I sleep better. I should just say I sleep better. Yeah, and that's all thanks to the fact that blue light glasses from Felix Gray are just protecting my eyes. They have the technology that actually works, and I can't recommend them enough.
Yeah, and here's another benefit of them: they make us look much cooler.
That's a big benefit. Yeah,
we both wear them just out and about, even when we're not looking at screens.
Yeah,
I definitely always wear them when I am looking at a screen, like now during the podcast. And you normally do during the podcast, but you forgot yours somewhere else because you were wearing them out.
It's funny. I don't have them here because I was wearing them out, which is silly, but I just think I look really good in them. They're honestly like kind of my favorite thing. So
yeah, I wear them a
don't
lot
have them
too.
with me today.
I like how they look.
Yeah.
And that's just like a side benefit. But the frames are very high quality.
Yeah. No. They're really
this is all metal, baby. No plastic here.
I have a weird face, and it's like I'm just glad that the glasses, they fit nice on my face, which has always been a difficult thing for me. But Felix Gray, they're high quality, in their build and in the lenses themselves.
Yeah, and the blue light is filtering is built into the lens. Yep. It's not like a filter over the top that you could just like peel off or scratch off, which is how a lot of the cheaper blue light glasses are produced. These, it's all blue light filtering right through the lens. Very clear lenses. I forget I'm wearing them a lot of the time.
Yep.
until I look in a mirror and say, wow, that guy's handsome. And then I'm like, that's me. And then I look on the monitor. I'm like, wow, that guy's handsome too. And that's you. That's Carson Ronquist.
He's talking about Carson Ronquist.
And I am like, that guy's face is not weird at all.
Well, for the best blue light glasses on the market, use our URL, felixgrayglasses.com/kcast.
Kcast. K-C-A-S-T.
Non-prescription and prescription are available. Check them out now. felixgrayglasses.com/kcast. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/KCAST. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. felixgrayglasses.com/
helps you find the right look for you. Kcast. That's the slash. It's /Kcast.
Yeah, it's /Kcast.
They've been in the game for 5 years, Carson. They know what they're doing.
You could say that again.
They've been in the game for 5. Yeah.
AKA the Nick Cage movie. It's a very long name for. I'm like, they could have come up with something else.
Well,
but
all the ads just call it massive talent to not confuse the audience.
Yeah. It's just a lot of. I'm like, they had to write that so many times on so many different forms. But
yeah, it's kind of like Benjamin Button, where everyone just calls it Benjamin Button. But
the Curious Case of Benjamin Button, or the Birdman, or the whatever. Forget what it's.
Yeah.
Wait, now I need to get the. It doesn't matter. Or the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, we're talking about.
Those are other long titles.
Yes, for anyone who was on the edge of their seats about it. Today we're talking about that new Nick Cage movie. It stars Nick Cage. He plays Nick Cage. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and I'm going to read the synopsis. Unfulfilled and facing financial ruin, actor Nick Cage accepts a $1 million offer to attend a wealthy fan's birthday party. Things take a wildly unexpected turn when a CIA operative recruits Cage for an unusual mission. Taking on the role of a lifetime, he soon finds himself channeling his most iconic and beloved characters to save himself and his loved ones. Directed by Tom Gormican. I looked him up. He hasn't done a lot of other things. But yeah, stars Nick Cage, Pedro Pascal, Tiffany Haddish is in there. And it is out. It was, I believe, like one of the opening films at South by Southwest too. So
yeah.
Anyway, it's out and we've seen it. And
we have seen it.
Jeff, I am going to be honest. This might be our biggest difference.
I think so.
When I got out, I didn't expect you to have reviewed it yet, because usually you wait until after the podcast.
Because I forget.
Right. Well, honestly, you should. That's like smart, because then we go into it blind, not sure what each other think. But this time you had it rated, and I was genuinely surprised. But I was like, this will make for, I think, an interesting episode.
Yeah. I mean, upon reflection, I would probably go down a little bit.
I mean, you know.
I did have a beer while I was watching it.
It was
a movie theater where you it's like one of those.
Then we had what's funny is I went to the matinee screening of this where it was like me and maybe like 3 other people, and you got to have like a beer and you made a whole
I was with my parents like in recliners drinking beer.
That's pretty fun. Now that's a good time.
No, it was a good time. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Just initial thoughts about this film.
Yeah.
This film is stupid.
It's one of the dumbest things I've seen in so long.
Yeah.
But not in a Guns Akimbo way, like where it's stupid, but it's like trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Like this movie knows it's stupid.
Yes.
Like very quickly.
Yep.
Which is something I do appreciate. I do appreciate that about it. It's that it doesn't actually for a second like try to take itself seriously. Like the message it's trying to have is, which it shouldn't even have a message. It's just a movie about Nick Cage. Like it doesn't spend a lot of time on that, which is something I like.
Yeah. See, I have a theory about this film. I think that a lot of like film Twitter and Letterboxd people hate this movie.
Really?
Well, I mean it's pretty verifiable if you just look at reviews of it. Like everyone I follow hates this movie. Like you.
Well, That's what I was surprised though, is that I feel kind of like alone. The only other person I know that really didn't like this was Zachary Shevich from
Yeah, I saw that.
Um, and everybody else I know is like actually kind of really liked
Yeah,
it,
I'll
which is
say
why
Wyatt Olef did
Wyatt
not like it.
Olef didn't like it. Yeah.
Demi didn't like it.
Demi didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting. Because
I would say
I do know a lot of
like
people that really liked
Ayana
it.
Murray did not like it.
Okay. Interesting. I was
Your
blind.
Letterboxd rival Brad Pitt did not like
Brad
it.
Pitt did not. The receipts are showing up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Here's my trying to rationalize this.
Yeah.
I really think that the way this movie was initially pitched to the public was this kind of career revival for Nick Cage.
Yes.
And it's not that at all.
No.
It's like people were pitching this as if it was going to start some kind of Nick Cage, renaissance, like how Bill Murray had after Rushmore.
Yeah.
But this movie is not like that kind of movie. This movie is just a stupid blockbuster film.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like it's in your face about that.
Yeah.
While you're watching the movie, it's like we're making a blockbuster movie.
Yep.
Right now.
And people were like, "Oh, I want to show off Nick Cage's acting ability," because obviously Nick Cage is a noted, tremendously talented and varied actor.
Yeah.
This film does not do that.
Yeah.
Nick Cage barely has to act in this movie. This movie is stupid.
He is kind of having I feel like that's what confused a lot of people, is like he is having like this new moment in his career because of Pig last year, which was like a massive success and like almost got him an Oscar nomination and all that. And I think a mix of that with this movie all about him, everyone's like, Cage is back, he's doing his thing. And yeah, I think people were kind of expecting, especially when like I remember when the headlines started coming out being like Nick Cage set to play Nick Cage, and it was like it was taking very seriously. People were like, well, we'll see how this is. I will be honest, I knew it is going to be stupid. I did not know this was going to play as like just Hollywood blockbuster as it was. Like, this is just a Hollywood comedy.
Yep.
Really. It's
100%.
just a comedy. And I think a lot of my issues with it come from the fact that it's not really my sense of humor, but also I think Nick Cage is a lot funnier than this movie is. But that's just, I think I'm not even the biggest Nick Cage fan.
Yeah. I'm not either. I'm not like a
right. Yeah.
guy who has those Nick Cage face pillows.
Yeah, which they have in the movie.
Yeah.
We should acknowledge. Before I get too far though, are your parents Nick Cage fans? Like, how did they?
No,
respond
my
to
parents
this?
honestly barely even like movies.
That's
like,
funny.
yeah, they go to the theater like a few times a year.
Yeah. So did they like this, or
they did?
Like, what? Okay.
They liked it more than I did, I think.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Because it's a crowd pleasing blockbuster at the end of the day.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a crowd.
You don't have to think. Like, that's the thing. People wanted to have to think about this movie.
Yeah. The thing is though, is that just like it felt. I get that. Yeah. It is a crowd pleasing blockbuster that is pretty easy. It's got a formula down, almost like it's literally saying it in the movie. They're like, oh, what are we gonna do for the third act, or like we need something plot driven, and that's when like the plot kicks in the movie, which felt very like Deadpool-y sometimes, just in like this like 2020 breaking the fourth wall thing, which I'm also like not usually a fan of, which is why I was like, all right. But yeah, I think it's just I did expect more from like Nick Cage, or for this to be a bit more Nick Cage specific than just a Hollywood blockbuster, which I guess is on my expectations, but I just feel like it had so much potential and ended up being kind of just a Hollywood blockbuster, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that Pedro Pascal was better than Nick Cage in this movie.
He was so good in this movie.
Like, he was really funny.
Yeah. That is, yeah. It's funny to see because like Nick Cage is kind of out on doing like press again. He hasn't been on like a late night show. Like I watched his Jimmy Kimmel interview and he's like, "This is the first late night show I've been on in like 15 years," and it's like you kind of remember why, because it's like Nick Cage is kind of like shaky with the acting from time to time if he's trying to be like genuine or like there's a reason he's kind of an outsider these days. And yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird movie.
Yeah.
Like felt really weird seeing Nick Cage do his thing in this Hollywood blockbuster formula that I think if you're in the right mood, maybe like having a beer could be really fun.
Yeah.
But I was like just it's like, what is this movie?
Yeah. Oh, it's a weird movie.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I was totally on board from the get-go. I'm like, oh, sweet. I don't have to think. Like, even the editing of this film, like the transition between scenes, whenever there was a scene that was gonna have like this explanation, dialogue, they would just like, I was like, this is gonna be boring for a minute, and then they would just cut right to the next thing. I'm like, oh, sweet.
They barely hold on. The only moment I feel like they really try to hold on is like the family therapy scene.
Yeah.
When they all come to Mallorca.
Yeah. It's like the only scene that actually plays out all the way through.
Yeah.
The rest, I'm like, okay, so you understand what the scene is about? Next thing.
Right. I think a thing that really, because I think that's great. I think the movie moves along. Like it's definitely not a slow burn character drama the way they like kind of meta explain it. I think I just was really uninterested in the plot too, like the whole kidnapping the daughter, and there's like a cartel, and like it's in Mallorca, and there's like the CIA. It just felt, I'm like, that's not. I always thought that like Nick Cage movies are a little more absurd and like out there with their plots, and they pitch this as like the most Nick Cage movie ever, and I'm like, no, it feels like a Hollywood blockbuster that plugged Nick Cage into it as the protagonist, which isn't a bad time. You're gonna get Nick Cage doing his thing and like a ton of Nick Cage references, but I was just like, if this really wanted to go full him, I think if he had more control of the movie, this would be a lot either like bloodier or just like funnier, crazier.
Yeah.
But you get what you get, I guess.
No, and that's the thing. I totally understand why people don't like this, and I think it really is just all based on expectations and what the film was pitched at and what people wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because I see how like you wanted this film to be something else, because it obviously had the potential for the film to be what you wanted it to be.
Yeah. I mean, I did want it to be a lot better. That's you're right. Well, yeah. That's the thing when it comes down to just like how you have, like, because I like Barb and Star a lot more than most of the population, and that's
and Pop Star. Really, anything that has Star in it.
Anything. I was trying to think of more examples. But Star Wars, yeah, big Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah. But
Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky. Fuck, I can't come up with any of them. Yeah. Never mind. I thought I had one. I just don't think like the filmmaking makes up for the fact that it's not my type of movie.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because like Barb and Star, I can definitely understand. I'm just like, I think Barb and Star is a good like comparison because that's the only other like Hollywood blockbuster comedy that we've had, and that's why I was like actually really bummed that I didn't like this, because I was like, I love it when there's a new Hollywood comedy that like has a sizable budget behind it, because that feels like a rarity. But this just felt like, plug in that villain, plug in this plot point. We're making a movie inside a movie type of thing, which is fun, but just wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
Especially when it's Nick Cage and his. It's not even Nick Cage. Like, I mean, Pedro Pascal was great, but the rest of they didn't. No one brought the acting chops to this movie, which is fine. It's crazy to expect that for this kind of movie. But I do think Tiffany Haddish was not given as much as she could have been given in the movie. I think she's a lot funnier than the movie gives her credit for, but that's a separate conversation. Anyway, I feel like that was a really jumbled conversation, but
I mean that's classic kcast.
That's kcast for you.
That's our logic.
What did you get most of the this movie throws a lot of references at you.
Yeah, I would say I got half of them.
Okay, yeah.
I've only seen like a third of the Nick Cage movies.
Yeah. It is like one of those things where it's like when you brought up like Mandy, which is one of probably my favorite Nick Cage movie. I was like, you do feel kind of good inside. Yeah. He never brought up Adaptation, which was interesting because I feel like that's he didn't bring up a lot of his like critically like Leaving Las Vegas was the one that he got his Oscar for. I don't think they mentioned it.
They brought up National Treasure, so that's
they did bring up National. I was waiting for National Treasure the whole movie because I was like, that's what introduced me to Cage personally. They did it's funny. I just saw Wild at Heart, and that character from Wild at Heart is like the ghost character that keeps showing up, and they call him Nicky. I thought that was kind of fun. But yeah, I'm just like weird movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I would probably lower my rating slightly now that I didn't rate it immediately after watching it while a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
But I'm still much higher on it than you are.
I think so.
Only just because it was like a fun time. Didn't have to think.
Right.
That was like, I'm rating it against that. Obviously, this was for me in my like Marvel movie scale, which is different, obviously than my like Wes Anderson scale.
Yeah. That makes sense. And that's the thing. It's like I don't have. It's not a movie that's actively doing any harm. It's like I am not upset that this movie exists. I'm actually surprised. I saw it with Cookie and we were talking about it afterward, and we are like, it's kind of crazy that this got funded. Like, it doesn't have the biggest budget, $30 million, but we were convinced it was like a money laundering scheme behind the studio. They're like, we'll just make the Nick Cage movie then.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the locales were very pretty.
Yeah.
Was it shot in Majorca? Or is it just
That's a good question.
Malta or something?
Yeah. Where was Massive Talent filmed? See, it was Croatia. It was actually filmed in Croatia.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
which probably was really cheap to film there, honestly.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw the budget when it was just $30 million because I'm like, I feel like that's pretty cheap by blockbuster standards these days. I mean, yeah, it is. It's not the worst thing in the world. I feel like I was a little dramatic with my score originally because I'm like, it's a perfectly fine Hollywood blockbuster, but I think I am just bummed at how it waters down Nick Cage this much.
Yeah.
When I think this could have been so funny and so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
I understand that. Mm-hmm. But you did rate it like the same level as like MVP, Most Valuable Primate. I'm just gonna say, if I would have guessed your rating, I would have thought like 2.5.
Right. Which seems reasonable.
So
I'd say like 2.5 to, but I think I was just like really upset in the moment. I really. Yeah, I was just like waiting for it to kind of kick into full. It pitches itself so much. It literally the tagline, like I said, is like the most Nick Cage movie ever, and it never really kicks into that other than he'll do some random action like stab someone and be like and it's like it's funny, but it's he he's so much crazier than that. I feel
Yeah.
like he never. But I guess the movie has the struggle of him playing himself,
Right.
Whereas
So
usually
he's not
he's
playing a
playing,
character.
yeah, he's playing like a crazy guy in a movie. But
Yeah.
now it's like he wants to have, I guess, some sort of, which he should. I feel like Nick Cage deserves more respect, and I think that's another thing about the movie that upsets me is that the movie just kind of like pokes fun at his own career or like some of his, well, like, I mean, not to say it like fully disrespects it. It feels like kind of an homage to him, but also doesn't fully respect his approach to acting, which I think is so unique and ridiculous. And I don't know. Maybe I just had too high expectations for this film.
Yeah. Would
But
you
yeah,
recommend people see this movie?
I maybe the thing is like there's a lot of great. I would say yeah, it's worth your time. It's worth your time.
Which is probably the first time you've ever said that about something you rated 1.5 stars.
I know. That's a stretch. The thing is, right now, there's like so many good movies in the theater. Like Everything Everywhere, I think, is still doing its thing. And like The Northman is out, which we're not talking about that today, but I just gotta say, phenomenal movie.
Yeah, my brother saw that.
What did he think?
I think he liked it. I didn't really
Okay.
ask him. I just know he saw
Gotcha.
it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you gotta
Yeah.
have him on the podcast.
True.
Talking about the
we
North.
could talk about The Northman. I recommended it to my mom, which I'm thinking that one over
Yeah,
again.
you have insane recommendations to your family sometimes.
Yeah. My mom does not really like Nick Cage, so I don't think she would like this. And she doesn't like sci-fi or high concept stuff, so I don't think she would like Everything
Yeah,
Everywhere.
my mom
either.
hates sci-fi.
Yeah. Moms just don't, they're not into
Yeah.
sci-fi.
My dad wanted to watch Stranger Things, and my mom wouldn't let him because it was sci-fi. Like they watched, I think, like part of the first season. And my mom was like, "I don't want to watch this,"
That's so funny.
and I'm like, "That's barely sci-fi.
Yeah, no, that's like,
It's like character driven."
it's like kind of horror, like
Yeah.
adventure. That's so funny. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This is not, do not, personally, I wouldn't say make this your top priority if you're going to go see something at the theater.
Yeah, but not your bottom priority.
Each your own. Yeah.
What would be your bottom priority? Let's see what's in the theater right now.
Yeah. Let me just look up the Regal. I went back to the Regal where we saw Ambulance.
Yeah.
I think I was in the same theater actually. Which I gotta say, comfy seats. I like the seats there with the recliners.
Was it the Webster?
the Webster one? Yeah.
Yeah, that no, I do like that theater. I used to live kind of close to it, and it
Yeah.
has the parking garage where you can just walk right into the theater.
Yeah. Yep. That's. I would say Father Stew is at the end of the
Father Stew.
Father
What in
Stew.
Morbius?
And Morbius. Yeah. The 21
Wait,
Pilots
what about
Cinema
the Lost City?
Experience.
I remember that was the the previews and like trailer was everywhere for a while.
Yeah. No, I heard it's fine. I don't think it's something I would go see.
It actually
but
sounds similar to this movie.
yeah, it's like a pretty traditional blockbuster comedy. It seems like it's got
Okay,
like,
wait a second.
kind of a loaded cast.
Yeah, but also just like the plot sounds very, very similar to this movie.
I'm reading it right now. Follows a reclusive romance novelist who was sure nothing could be worse than getting stuck on a book tour with her cover model until a kidnapping attempt sweeps them both into a cutthroat jungle adventure, proving life can be so much stranger and more romantic than any of her paper book fictions. Paperback, not
Yeah,
paper
it's like
book.
two people in like a tropical place.
That's
There's
literally
a billionaire.
It's this movie. I'm glad Channing Tatum's back at it. He's been kind of quiet, but he's got this. He's got Free Guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is Channing a real name?
I don't know
I've
any
never
other
heard
Channings.
anyone else named Channing.
That's a verb. I'm channing something.
Yeah, that's a gerund. It's a noun
Yeah.
ending in ing used as a verb.
I don't know any other Channings. No.
Channing
Daniel
name
Radcliffe's
meeting.
in this. Yeah.
What? This says, if you type in Channing name meeting into Google, it says Young Wolf, official of the church. I don't know what that means. Young Wolf?
That's
yeah. It says, and now this says an official of the church resembling a young wolf. What?
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog is also in theaters, so
Yeah.
you know, if anyone itching to go see it. Yeah, no, you know, I didn't like this one. That's just
what it is.
That's been made clear. But you might. I feel like I am definitely in the minority here, even though we've proven a few people on Letterboxd didn't love it. But you know, if you're you know willing to just like have a good time, crack open a cold one,
Yeah.
probably gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Or if you're a Channing,
A young wolf, yeah, a young wolf.
You resemble a young wolf.
Yeah.
And have some kind of church affiliation.
Yep.
If you're a young Christian wolf.
The unbearable weight of a massive young wolf. Yep. What are we feeling for? We've kind of talked about scores already.
Yeah. I gave it a 4 on Letterboxd. I would probably pull that back to like a 3.5.
Yeah. I mean,
now that I have my senses
either
about
would
me.
make sense. Yeah.
And I think you would probably pull yours up to a 2.
Yeah, 2. I wouldn't go any higher than a 2, but yeah, probably a 2. Don't see this at a matinee showing is what I'm.
Don't do that. No,
don't see
preferably see it not sober if you're of age.
Yeah.
In your location,
right?
Yeah, you know what? And if you are like a very big movie fan, as of course everyone who listens to this podcast is.
Yep.
You all love movies. That's why you love hearing Carson and I talk about them.
Yep.
Every week. Don't go into this thinking, oh, this would be a great Nick Cage movie.
You're right.
Just go into being like, okay, this is going to be a stupid blockbuster that should be amusing.
It's funny, though, how much this movie references other movies and talks about, like, the art. I guess that makes it kind of funny. It just, like, always talks about, like, the art of cinema and, like, these two guys that really want to make, like, a great character-driven drama and, like, they just talk about movies, and Nick Cage has, like, this really pretentious, like, thing about him. And it's, like, the most unpretentious movie of the year. It's, like...
Right. Which I think is part of the joke. To me, I don't...
Totally, like, yeah. It's not trying to... Yeah.
Okay, the last thing that I want to bring up.
Okay.
Because I've never seen this, but I know that you were a big fan of Paddington 2.
Yeah. What's funny is I'm looking at my shelf right now, and it has Paddington 2 right next to my Mandy Blu-ray. I have them both together, which is... It's like... It looks like the shelf of someone who would love this movie, but... Paddington 2 is great, and that is a good scene in the movie. I like how Paddington 2 becomes a like actual part of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wonder if like Nick Cage he's had to have actually seen it if he's
probably
talking about it. Yeah.
I mean, you know, if nothing else for this film, he's probably seen it.
He had to for research. Yeah. All right. Well, that was The Unbearable Weight of is it of
Do you ever feel
talent?
unbearably weighted down by your massive talent, Karsten?
All the time. By my massive head of hair, really.
Yeah, I have a massive head of hair too. So I cut my own hair because it's fun. Mm-hmm. And it saves money, which that's not really why I do it. I do it because it's fun. Mm-hmm. But this time I did it, and I only cut off the side, so I left the top really poofy.
Ooh.
Because I can go because I cut my own hair. Well, it's because I can cut my own hair, so then I can just go change it like a day later if I want to.
Yeah,
I just did it because it was amusing to me. So my hair is very poofy right now on the top.
That's
and
reason
not on
enough.
The sides.
Yeah. No, I've only cut my own hair once, and it is exhilarating. I mean, it's
right because it's like you never know what's going to happen. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's that movie. It's in theaters now. Yeah. We'll get into questions. This episode is also brought to you by Bird Dogs.
Bird Dogs.
Pants.
Oh, I said it kind of like in a different
You kind of did. Yeah.
Bird Dogs. Mine was a little sing-song.
Bird Dogs.
Bird Dogs.
If you didn't already know, Bird Dogs makes shorts, pants, swim trunks, you name it.
Joggers.
Joggers.
I just named it.
But and like all kinds of different pants. You know, I own a few myself, and I gotta say, I wear them all the time. I'm wearing them right now. These are a nicer pair. These aren't the joggers. These are they're like a dark green. It's kind of hard to stand up and show them, but they're really comfortable. I sat through the movie today with them. You know,
and that was for you the best part of your movie experience
was just wearing these pants. Yeah. And I'm a big fan. I really like them. Something I really like.
They fit you really well.
Yeah,
I've seen you wear them in person.
I really like them. The colors, you know, you got black, you got gray, you got
all
dark
the pants
green.
colors.
Yeah, all the usual pants colors. But something that I really like about them is that they have built-in underwear, which I have to say is super convenient. Especially now that things are getting a little bit warmer, things just feel a lot
They're
nicer
very breathable underwear.
Yeah, it's a really great,
very lightweight.
Yeah, lightweight, super high quality.
And you used to forget to wear underwear all the time.
It's something about me that a lot of people don't know. Is I used to, I always forget my underwear. And with bird dogs, you know, I don't really have to think about it much. I'm like, just put on the pants. You
just put on one thing.
Yeah,
it saves a lot of time during the day because I struggle putting on underwear, and I'm like, oh, this is just one thing to put on. So much easier.
Saves you like 10 minutes, you know, that whole underwear process. I also never brought this up, but bird dogs have the buttons they use for the buttoning of the pants are really cool. It's like a nice slide in type of thing. It's a nice perk that I don't think I've talked about yet, but I really like that.
And you know, the weather is starting to heat up, Karsten.
Yeah,
we just entered May.
Yep.
It's May.
May.
My birthday's in May, Karsten. And you know what?
Oh, my God.
I'm going to ask for some bird dogs.
There we go.
Now, that sounds like a joke, but I actually already did ask my parents to buy me bird dogs. And they already did, so I already have them. So it's kind of an early birthday
your code.
Present.
Yeah.
Using my code. I'm like, use my code. And you know why? Because if you use our code KCAST at checkout, you get a free whistling football, which you can see I already got because I have the shorts already.
Yep. And it's a
bird
great
dogs.
whistling football.
It whistles.
Well,
it whistles when you throw it. I was seeing if I can make it whistle.
That's how whistling footballs work. When you throw them, yep.
Yeah. I mean, don't try to play as an instrument. It does not work that well.
Does
but
not
when you
work
throw
as
it,
well.
It whistles. Trust me.
Now, let me just say that the swim trunks, the shorts, I mean, bird dogs, they're really comfortable. They're a good. I'm very specific about the cutoff of the shorts. It's like I'm very specific about it because some are too long, some are way too short, and bird dogs
the inseam.
Yeah, the inseam, that's the word. Yeah. Bird dogs.
I was like, I don't know where this is going.
No, they fit great. I'm a big fan. So definitely check them out.
Using our code.
Our code.
It's birddogs.com, and when you check out, use our code KCAST. KCAST. You get that free whistling football. And even if you're not a person who likes to throw footballs around, use the code anyways and give the football to someone that you're friends with.
Yeah.
Because when you use the code, it helps support the pod, but also the product's great. So win-win.
Bird
win
dogs.
For the pod, win for you getting comfortable shorts or joggers or swim trunks or pants.
Yep. Code.
I'm a big fan of the shorts. I'm in Florida where it's been warm for a while. It's starting to heat up everywhere. It's May.
Yep. Cool
Get
designs.
Some shorts.
Yeah.
Cool design. You want to see the shorts I just got?
Actually, I do. I kind of do, to be honest.
Okay, give me 1 second.
While you do that, I'm going to talk a little bit just about style. You guys know I'm pretty picky about the style. Okay. Are you putting them on right now? Oh, no. Wow. Those are nice. Yeah. Those are cool. That's kind of your color. You pulled off that pattern really well. So
so can you just quickly describe the pattern to the audio listeners?
The pattern is like a purple kind of 90s look. I actually more like 80s, like purple pink, little streaks of different doodles. I would say
excellent
scribbles.
Karsten.
Yeah.
Anyways, check them out yourself.
Bird dogs, code KCAST.
KCAST.
Starting with some from the Patreon. Patreon.com/Carscast. If you're a $15 patron, which you should be, you get to ask. You get to ask questions for these episodes. You get a guaranteed answer
in front of thousands of people.
Thousands. We're talking,
unless it's the John Munson episode, then there's at least 7 people.
Like 100. Yeah. 12 dozens
of people.
This first one comes from Taylor Hearts to Watch the Movie, and it is, what is your favorite pasta noodle shape?
Bow tie.
That's a good one. Bow tie is
Absolutely.
good.
But I love.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I just enjoy plain old buttered pasta,
Yeah. Yeah.
and bow tie is like the perfect shape for buttered pasta.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice. It's fun. It's
Yep.
cool.
And
gonna
in
be
France, they call it like, I forget what it is, but it's
bouquet.
butterfly is like what they call the
Aw.
shape.
That's cute. That's cute. I'm gonna be boring and just say rigatoni.
I mean, I don't really know how that's more boring than bow tie.
well,
It's just another shape.
It's just a tube, but I like
You like
it.
tubes?
I like tubes.
You're
Simple
like, you know
guy.
what? I go back and play Super Mario Brothers just to
Yep.
go down those tubes.
Just to go down the tubes.
And then I don't even try to complete the level. I just go down
No.
the tubes. Do all the
Yeah.
warp worlds.
Those are the best part, the secret warp worlds. This next one also comes from Taylor Hearts to Watch the Movie, and it's, if you had to choose one of your senses, sight, hearing, smell, touch, or taste, thanks for the reminder, which would it be? Wait, if you had to choose
like
one, one, like if you had to
to get
choose
rid of.
one, I assumed one to, like, you only get one of them, is what I feel like.
That's horrible.
I know. Well, we can answer
Sounds
both.
like a
It doesn't.
nightmare.
It just says if you could choose one, which would it be?
Well, if you only have one of them, if it would feel like you're dead.
Yeah. If you could just feel stuff, but you can't do anything else.
Right.
If you can just look around, but have no way
Of like feeling anything.
can't hear anything. You're just looking. You're just
I don't even want to answer that. That's terrifying.
no. That's
I
a
would
little that.
not. I would rather have 0 senses than 1 sense.
Yeah. That's that. So you'd just be dead. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying. It'd be funny if, like, you have a group of people and each person has one of the sense, and you guys just always have to wander together as like a
Like
unit.
the guy who can see is the one who has to lead
just to
everyone.
function
But
in
then
society.
but all those people that have no touch wouldn't even know if they're being touched, being led.
The person that can taste is telling the person that can, like, touch to add extra ketchup.
Well, I mean, the issue is the person with the eyes is the one who'd have to do all the touching.
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
can
yeah.
see, they just wouldn't feel it.
Only one of them can hear, which is the issue. So I don't know how they would communicate with each other.
It sounds like a nightmare. This sounds like the most nightmarish film ever.
Right. That's a suicide pact. That's not
This is
that's
the person with the eyes.
a bunch of people that
that would be an unbearable weight.
that's
That sounds like literally the most horror-inducing film of all time. That's the next Jordan Peele film.
Do you think there's people that just have one sense?
I don't want to think about that. I hope not.
Because I feel it's
I hope that
insensitive.
they're happy wherever they are.
Yeah.
Did you just say insensitive, Karsten?
Well, kind of. I mean, like, I feel bad if we're like,
no, I mean, like,
I would fucking die if I had.
I mean the word choice.
What?
Insensitive. As in they don't have senses.
That's. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that when I said it.
Oh, boy.
The unbearable weight of massive.
Here's the thing.
wordplay.
People that are lacking, like, one sense,
only
I think that's a lot easier to cope with. You have a lot of other senses, and they can still live very fulfilling lives, and I hope that they're happy wherever they are.
Yeah.
But just having one sense is a crazy question.
Right. Yeah, I can't find anything about if there's anybody with only one sense.
Like, that's a crazy question.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's a huge gulf. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
downplay people that are lacking like one or two senses. I'm just saying there's a huge gulf between like lacking one or two senses and lacking all senses except
all
one.
of them at the same time. Yeah. Because that's like what it. Just So that answers that question.
Well, we also didn't say if we had to get rid of one.
If we had to choose one, I would say sight. I would like to see.
If you had to get rid of one.
Oh, if you had to get rid of one. I don't know. What would you?
Wait, what are the senses again?
Sight, hearing, smell, touch, or taste. I would say smell. I think I could go without smell.
I would say taste.
Really?
Because smell actually plays a huge part in taste.
Well, I was thinking about that, yeah, but I would rather...
And then you could eat really healthy foods. And
I guess that's true.
Matter.
I guess that's true. All right. Well, this last one comes from a very neat guy, and it's I recently watched The Last Dance, and I'm guessing it's something Jeff has watched.
Oh,
if you did watch it, Jeff or Karsten, what did you think, and what sports series should get a series like that? I am curious because I've heard a lot about it, and I've never actually seen it, so I'm like, what are your thoughts?
The Last Dance is about the last season of the Chicago Bulls run of championships in the 90s.
Yep.
So Michael Jordan won 3. He left for a year, then he came back. They won 3 more.
Yep.
And it's kind of about the last, their last time together as a team, winning all these championships.
Their last dance.
Now, as far as I know, it was pretty heavily, the narrative was pretty heavily altered by Michael Jordan. So it makes him look really good. But
he already looks pretty good as is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a fascinating thing to watch just because of all the archival footage. And just seeing, what it's like to be on this team with this group of people that just wins so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, so it's a very enjoyable thing to watch, I'll say. I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Worth a watch.
It's worth a watch. It's long. It's a 10-part documentary.
Gotcha.
And it focuses on various important players like Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Dennis Rodman's a really interesting person.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman for a few years ago was taking trips to North Korea.
Yeah. I think I've seen that on Twitter and people talk about. I obviously know who Dennis Rodman is.
Yeah. You know him from such films as Double Team.
Exactly.
Which I've seen.
Yep. Who hasn't?
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. But yeah, cool.
Yeah. Now wait, you should read the synopsis real quick of Double Team.
Of Double Team?
Yeah.
Double Team. Really good. Really, I feel let me just say this. I feel like Dennis Rodman was ahead of the curve with the style. I feel like a lot of people copy Dennis Rodman these days. With the hair and the style. Yeah. The synopsis reads, he's a one-man arsenal, ... with enough voltage to rock the free world. They don't play by the rules. You're either on their side or in their way. America's top counter-terrorist usually works alone. This time, he's got company. That was a hilarious synopsis.
That doesn't tell you anything.
Didn't tell me a damn
Okay, but you see who the other star of the film is?
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah.
Oh, it does say you've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wait, it says
looks
I've seen
a
it?
good. Yeah, you've watched it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Watched by Jeff Borslow. It's on Netflix. We should watch Double Team sometime.
Yeah.
Seems like well, it's got an interesting ratings distribution, but yeah. One of the top. What?
Oh, sorry. You continue.
One of the top reviews is seems like there are a lot of cowards online who don't appreciate cinema when it looks them in the eye. Talking about Double Team.
Yeah.
What was what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we're neglecting the second part of this question.
What was the second part of this question?
It's what
other sports series. Oh,
okay. So what other thing that happened would make a good series like this?
What did you think, and what sports series should get a series like that? I mean, I'm so out of touch about sports. I can't really say what I feel like a thing about the only sport, it's just the things that I know about. I'm a thing about Brett Favre could be interesting.
Brett Favre is very, very suspect.
Yeah,
put it that way.
That's why I'm I don't know much about sports. I only know
Brett Favre is not someone you want to
know more
be
about.
looking up to.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Um, how about something on Michael Phelps,
Yeah. You know what would be actually a really, really
Mark
interesting
Spitz?
character, uh, like a character study,
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
Michael Vick.
yeah.
Because, someone who had such a high peak and then like was shot down so quickly and then has been like trying to, kind of make right with
Yeah,
their past choices. I think that would be an interesting thing to see.
for
So I'm going to
sure.
say Michael Vick.
Nice.
There are actually a John Boyce documentary, The History of the Atlanta Falcons, has a little bit on that,
Okay.
which is it's this guy who does really in-depth YouTube documentaries on sports. Like they just did there's the history of the Seattle Mariners, and then also recently history or it's like the story of Dave Stieb, who was a pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. So highly recommend John Boyce documentaries on YouTube.
Great. Yeah. And on that note, let's wrap things up. let's we did manage to get a recommendation segment in there, so that's great.
It's big win for us.
Big win for us. We'll start by announcing the movie for next week, which is not a movie. It's going to be the advice episode, which I know you're like, that's the second time you've said that, and that's because we thought the advice episode would come this week, and then we did this movie. We're sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we didn't spoil
We had
anything,
to be
so
a part of the zeitgeist for the Nick Cage
we got to
massive
keep it
talent
relevant.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah, if we're not relevant, this podcast will cease to
nothing.
exist.
Yeah.
We need.
That's
the
why we did
clicks.
Miracle.
Right. Exactly. We got to be relevant. I mean that only happened. That movie was only 18 years old, and the event
Yep.
he was talking about was 42 years old.
Yep. Yeah. So
And also
next,
John Munson, who all of the people listening to this podcast are well aware of who that is.
Yep. Household name.
Household name. Very nice guy.
Very nice guy. So no movie next week, just advice. Strictly advice.
But we already answered. We already did it, so don't send us.
Don't send us
questions.
more advice.
Save those for the next time we do this, which we will do it again,
Yep.
unless nobody listens to the next one. Then we won't do it again.
This next section is reading a review because we love hearing what you guys have to say about the podcast. Feel free to drop us a review with a star rating, and we will read it. Because that's what we do at the end of every podcast, and it also helps us, we think. This one comes from Josh C., but cooler, and it's from the United States of America. Subject line is kcast? 5 stars. And it reads, I've always been aware of the show, but I really got into it mid-2020, and I've been a weekly listener ever since. Carson and Jeff are very entertaining to listen to, and Jeff is very chill on the movie chord. They never cease to release a good podcast every week. Because of this podcast, I've been turned on to the world of filmmaking, and I'm actually about to go to film school later this year, and I definitely would not have had that without this getting me into some good movies, i.e. Kazam, Howard the Duck. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Josh. That's a very
Thank
sweet.
you, Josh. I hope
sweet
you have a
review.
great time at film school.
Yeah, I know Jeff and I did.
That's
got
how
this
I met
podcast
Karsten.
out of it. Yeah.
That was the biggest thing I got out of film school.
Yeah. Next, we like to thank the patrons over at
Karsten, I'm
patreon.com/Karstcast.
ready for a spicy read of the names.
I feel good about today's. If you'd like to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/Karstcast. And in fact, you really should become a patron. If you've been on the fence about doing so, I would say you should go for it. Now's a good time to do it.
Yeah, we do monthly hangouts with Carson and I where we answer all your questions. We have a nice group chat it's like usually a small group, 8 to 10 people. We all just kind of hang out, talk about movies, and then we play some GeoGuessr together.
It's a really good time. Yeah, you get exclusive bonus episodes, 2 a month, which we just put some out for this month, which are a blast.
We answer all of a lot of other questions that anyone sends us, and then we also just play some GeoGuessr with Carson and I.
Yep.
We now that I have a virtual camera where we can show both of our screens at the same time for GeoGuessr, we do some competitive duels, and those get pretty heated. I yell at Karsten. I scream it. I scream
things.
at him.
The meanest things you've heard. happen
I
in
say
those episodes.
your hair does not look tremendous today. It just
Brutally
looks
honest.
merely good.
Yep. It's awful.
Yeah. It really
Feelings are hurt.
hurts the confidence of Karsten Rundquist, the man
Friendships are
with
split.
tremendous hair.
Join the Patreon.
I mean, honestly, it's great hair.
Yeah.
You should never have been a swimmer because it just messes up that hair.
You have it was so bad. It fucked up my hair tremendously.
Probably turned it green as well.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad you don't swim anymore because your hair is worth keeping dry.
Thanks, man.
Honestly, don't even take a shower just to be safe.
Thank you. Alex Thomas, Anson Contreras, Big Beard Pirate, Camilla Coop, David Borslow, David Sir, Eden, Eli Brow, Finn Richardson, Gavin Gibson, Goodnight Tail, Jay Neaston, John Van Hout, Joshua Hughes, KDT, let's change the Google search results for PTA, Levin, I don't know what to change this to, Liv Rob, Lul Hottie, Lukewarm, Maddie Robertson, Martin Duff, Marilee Borslow, Maxine Schmidt, Meridian, Michael, Monopoly Shrimp on the Barbie, Monroe Page, Nathan Worley, Owen Felton, Pasta, Pete Sethanat, Queen of Staten Island, Quentin Martini, Riley Ost, Ryan M, Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty Werbin, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Hartz to watch the movie 10 Billion, The Raccoon from Airbud 7th Inning Fetch, Vegard Strom, Wes Kinley, Wiley Todd, Yusuf A, Zachary Fritz, Zizhang Ku, Zoinks, and Zoe Hernandez McDonald. Thanks, guys.
That's a pretty good read.
Yeah, it was okay. A lot of new names in there.
Which we really appreciate it, and it's a great way to support us. Make us. We feel like that makes us feel like we're doing the right thing with the podcast, and just keep churning away, watching these movies.
Got it.
Talking to Karsten. I'll talk even harder the more patrons we have.
Absolutely.
What were you gonna say?
That's how it goes. It's like it fuels us. I was gonna say if you are already a patron, you should consider going to the patron Zoom hangouts every month. And to know about them, follow us on Twitter at kcast. And get in on all those fun updates. That is going to do for the episode, I think. What do you got planned the rest of the day, Jeff?
I'm probably going to sleep a lot.
Yeah. Nice.
How about you?
I'm going to edit this What I Watched This Month video.
Oh, nice. What's your favorite thing you watched?
Oh, that's actually a great question.
Favorite thing?
No. Favorite thing I watched this month was probably The Northman. Go check it out.
Nice.
I need water. Oh my god.
This was your least favorite thing you watched this month.
I'm looking at the list and I think it was. I think it was.
Anything
else to say?
Catch you on the flip side, Karsten Ronquist.
Catch you on the flip side.